Camera 1 rolling, camera 2 rolling,
rolling.
camera 3.
Three rolling.
Audio checks are good. Camera sync in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and welcome back to another video. Special edition video podcast. Today, we are located in Houston, Texas, right?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Joined us by Carlos, the Texas Squeegee. Carlos, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for having me. Looking forward to this right here. This is a sweet setup you got set up here, man. It's super crisp, clear sound.
That's what we're trying to go for here. You are actually the second person that we've interviewed. First person was Martin Fowler, and we went ahead and released that video not too long ago. But the funny thing is we were wrapping it up, and we didn't know how to finish the podcast. And we're like, then we started talking about people that we want to interview in the future and other people that we should talk about. And literally the last person was you. Like, I'd love to go to Texas and talk to Carlos. And like, it took me forever to edit that video, but we finally got it finished. And then it released this morning at 8 a.m., which is hilarious because now I'm here and it makes me look like I'm super on my job, but I'm not really. I try.
It looks legit. I'll tell you what, this is a lot better than just going on a regular live.
Yeah,
this is definitely elevating the game in the window tinting industry when it comes to podcasting. This is, I'm almost a little bit scared that you can hear my thoughts through this.
Well, here's the thing. Is like, I've been, and I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing like live streams on Facebook, interview Facebook since I think 2018, 2019. And it's always been like a FaceTime or like a video share, which is like, it's kind of okay. The audio is kind of there. Maybe if they have headphones on, but being able to, I wanted to do the same thing, but elevate it to like a grander scale, right? High definition cameras, multi angles for everyone, professional audio. I just wanted to bring the same experience, but just slam packed even more. And to be able to bring people like you onto the show just to see, get an inside view, because when you're a content creator, or you're just a window tinter or whatever, you get yourself into this presence and people see this persona of you when you're online or in videos or in content. But I thought that this would be a relaxed way to just be able to get one-on-one time, shoot maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes worth of content, and then kind of really get to know the people that we're talking to. So you've been in this shop, and how long have you been in the industry?
I started this when I was 12.
12.
So this is before I hit puberty.
Okay, how old are you now?
So I am just at 30.
30. Okay.
30,
so for the
30.
last 18 years. Wow.
About 18 years or so.
Okay.
But I didn't really, when I started this industry, I picked it up. So I ended up at a shop because I got in trouble with my dad. And he knew I didn't like being in the shop because I usually hung around in the front desk with the salespeople, and it was a boring job to me. So I was like, screw that. I was mad at him, so I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go to the back. And so I went to the back, and I saw this one guy was installing film, and this is before ASMR I think was a thing. But I was watching him, and from the outside he was squeegeeing out the water. It's just so satisfying watching those squeegee passes in that water. It's like the bubbly look.
It's like therapy.
All of a sudden it's like it's fresh and looks good, and he's darkened the window. And I just kept watching, and it really got my curiosity because I love arts. I'm an artist. I consider myself an artist myself. Window tinting is just a manifestation of the artist in me, and the tintertainer side of it is the same thing as well. But that particular skill trade caught my attention, and I just kept staring. And then the guy who was doing the tint at the time, he asked me, he's like, "Do you want to learn how to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so he goes, "Okay, come show back up tomorrow." So I did. Okay. And he's like, "All right, just sit there in the corner and just watch me." I was like, "All right." So the next day, he tells me at the end of that day, he was like, "Come back the next day." And after about a week, I wasn't going anywhere. So they were like, he might be serious about this. And so my dad took me to, at the time, was Solar Guard, which is interesting because Solar Guard used to distribute at a location here, which I am now moving into.
Oh, so, the new shop? Is that secret?
No, it's not secret.
Okay,
We're changing locations. We're increasing size. It's about time that we start scaling.
I saw some pictures. I mean, they're ridiculous. I mean, how many cars can fit in that new shop? 10 cars or something? There's so much.
If we're talking about just how many cars could fit, period, we can probably put about between 10, 15 more or so. But as far as working vehicles at a time, comfortably, you probably do about seven at a time versus 2.
Man, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
How long have you been here in this location?
I opened up right here in March of 2017.
Okay.
And this was I started at a flea market, And it was just a weekends only, and I was only doing it to make some money while I went to school because I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to play in an orchestra.
Okay.
I love being on stage. I love being in front of a crowd. I loved entertaining. That's a musician. As a musician, you're an entertainer. So
hence Tintertainment.
Tintertainment. Became a tinter and entertainment. Okay. So I was a musician, and so it wasn't working out. I just felt like there was something about to me that I just felt like I couldn't really get out of. So transitioned over to doing tint, and I dropped out of college because I just felt like I was wasting my time and I wasn't utilizing my skills to the best of my ability. So I dropped out, and I said, well, the one thing that's been working out has been this window tinting little side gig that I had at the time, and I found this location here. This location is, you came up here. It's not on a busy road or anything like that. Originally the rent's so low over here.
Right. So
I started doing content, and videos just started popping off. But you were one of the original ones that I saw.
Oh, man.
You were one of the original ones that I saw that whenever I started looking up on YouTube, and I was really hungry to learn this more about the industry because I started to take it more serious. So the first thing I started to do was go on YouTube, and I was looking up content. And you were one of the channels that came up, and I saw Patrick Latman, and you were so more serious on videos than when I meet you in person. You're so much more wild and tintertaining in person.
It's funny, like the Orlando trip. That was probably one of the funnest things. Jason Omeletsky,
so fun.
Chris from 5 Star. The Becker boys. Oh my God! what a great trip.
The Beckers are such a unique duo. Like those guys are so funny. Like when we were leading into Tinter Battles 2021, my character, the character that I played was this trash talking, like over the top, super confident, like arrogant character. Nobody could keep up with me on the mic. But those two guys, when I went up against both of them, I couldn't keep up.
Really?
Like, yeah.
See, I missed the first one, and I'm like, it's like one of those things that like happened, and then like afterwards, you're like, damn it, what was I doing? And oh man, so let's talk about Tintertainment, not Tintertainment. Let's talk about the Tinter Battles. It's you, Jason Omeletsky. Is it just you two? Like,
as far as
like running it and organizing it? Like,
no, it's a
number of people.
Right, Tintertainment and Tinter Battles. It started from a joke. It started from a little Tinter battle that me and Jason at Tint Dude 3 that we had here in the shop. We ran out. He came down here to do some shoot some content. We went out to a bar, and we started playfully talking, like, who'd be better, like who'd be faster. Like I think I'd beat you. And it's like, I don't know, I think I'd beat you. And I'm like, why don't we have a battle tomorrow? So once he set that up, and Jason's a great friend of mine.
Right.
So once we set that up, like that artist, the side that always loved the wrestling, the pizzazz, the over the top, the storylines part of it, I did a video and on Instagram, and I said that I'm taking Tint Dude 3 down, and by the time I'm done with him, I'm gonna own Tinter brand. Like I am Tinter brand, and I'm gonna all this other stuff. And he shot one back. He was saying that the dude that lives up there in that rinky-dinky apartment, like he's too chicken shit to fight the Texas Squeegee. And the Tint Dude 3. So we had a little Tinter battle, and obviously it was in good fun. It was in great spirits. We finished up pretty much the same time. Like we kind of pretty much tied basically,
right.
But some of the friends that were watching us, like Billy Ellis, all of a sudden he called me out. He picked somebody, which is Sean, and he's like, I bet you me and Sean could take you. And then of course I shot back as the Texas Squeegee. I'm like, you two against me? You're gonna need a whole army to take the Texas Squeegee down. And then from there, Dean Mitchell jumped in, and then I did this one video because Dean actually posted a video, and he said like he goes outside on his balcony, he grabs snow, and he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass with snow. And I told Dean, I'm like, Dean, whether it's in your balcony or it's anywhere, you can count on the Texas Squeegee to show up. And I started going off on this thing, and it was so controversial that...
But in good fun.
In good fun. But the thing is, controversy sells.
Right.
So many people, like between us, we knew, like I never met Dean, but he was such a great sport about it that he knew that I was playing a character that really wasn't me. But the people that knew him, who had no idea who I was, didn't know what to think about it. And they kept reaching out.
They're like, what is this guy doing? The Texas Squeegee, like, he's crazy.
Who the hell is this guy? Like, why is he talking all this crap? And like, who the hell does he think he is? And man, it just started going from there. And I just really played into that character. And one of the things that I always preach to people is whether Look, popularity is the result of effective marketing and effective branding. If you want to get known, you can do one of two ways. You can be better than everybody else, or you can be different than everybody else. If you want to work harder, try to be better. If you want to work smarter, be different.
Right.
Nobody can be you better than you. That's a smarter route. And so that's the route that I chose to be. I knew that getting known and putting your name out there and being in good spirits with people, if you help others grow, when opportunities arise on their end, well, they're going to look to you. If you offer the value, they're going to look to you to bring you on, and you grow with everybody around you and stuff like that. So, like I said, be different or be better. Always choose different, because nobody can be better. Nobody can be a better you than you.
Ooh, I like that. That's a T-shirt right there. That's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So it started off basically as a joke, just playing around and kind of shooting shots at each other online and whatnot, and kind of morphed into this, like, the event last year, 2021 Tinter Battles. That was all in part as well as a fundraiser, right?
Right. It was a fundraiser. So the tintertainment side of that event was the competition, was creating what I call turning stars into superstars. And in our industry, what I refer to as stars, I refer to people that are in leadership positions that are worthy of someone else, the new generation following in their footsteps. They are a great example of what our industry should be, where it should be going. So the concept behind the Tinter Battles, at least the competition and the tintertainment side of it, was to create these larger than life personas, or take these ordinary, not ordinary, but take leaders that are doing well in our industry, that are doing positive things, put them in a spotlight where they are elevated so that their influence and their message carries across to further people. And like me, when I first came in, right, and I was researching and doing content, and I found you and I found some of the other guys. It's like, well, the new generation is going to be doing the same thing. And
right,
when they want to learn, they're going to look for content, and the people that put out the content are the ones that are going to be seen as the leaders. So I wanted to put a positive light on that. Now, in that story, Sun Distributing did a giveaway, and they found out that there was a man named Donnie Dixon who was going through cancer, and Dean Mitchell, he was the one who put a spotlight on Donnie Dixon. He brought it into the whole Tinter Battles journey and story. And so that event also, that spotlight also served to bring a spotlight to Donnie Dixon and raise money for him. And thankfully, Donnie has fully recovered, and now he's working at Expel as a trainer.
Really?
Right.
Shout out to Donnie Dixon. Awesome John, kicking that cancer's ass, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's looking great, man.
Yeah?
He's looking great.
I've never met him personally. I wasn't there for the first one. So
right.
I'm like, ugh.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Like, he's tall, too. I didn't know he was going to be that tall when I first met him.
He looks lean and tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You're like, holy Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He would, I don't know if he does flat glass, but I could see him. He would be great on flat.
Wouldn't need a two-step.
No.
Oh, my God. Tinter.
Speaking of which, at Expel Dealer Conference.
Yeah.
So there was the guys that were competing. And
this was last week, yes?
It was
just last week. Okay.
Just last weekend, right. The guy who ended up winning first, he was the tallest one there. I mean, this guy had a wingspan that you would have thought, like, wow, dude.
Just like...
Yeah, just a giant wingspan. And I've never, ever seen someone squeegee with so much force on the glass. I mean, you would sit, like, so there were 3 ballrooms. You could sit outside at the entrance to where it goes through the whole hallway, and you could hear this guy's passing. It was just,
just pushing out all that moisture.
The crazy part is there was a guy on the other side trying to cut, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's like,
yeah, I'm like,
okay.
Dude, what are you doing? And I mean, he ended up taking first place, but I'm like, that film does not need curing after that many passes. I mean, his hand would have gotten through, but you know what?
It's terrifying, right? Because what if you did that in a real job? Your hand would go through the glass or something? No.
So Johnny Blades works with me, and he does flat glass. And we went on this one project where we were doing frost on these garage doors. They go up and down, and so it needed removal. We took the film off of it, and he was scraping, and his hands went through. Boom.
Oh no.
He ended up getting cut up pretty bad.
The terrors of flat glass.
Oh my god.
When you go from automotive and then you're starting to do flat glass, like a lot of us start off in automotive and then we go to flat glass. Flat glass is like automotive tinters, like retirement. Like you go into flat glass.
You evolve into flat glass.
But it's like scary because you never think of things like you could push all day long in a back window, but you push too hard, you go through the glass.
Right.
If you're pulling film off and you're on a ladder and you lose your balance, I mean, you're falling 6 feet. Like, It's a learning curve for sure.
It's a learning curve for sure. And I've seen a lot of nightmares. You know, we started transitioning into doing, not into adding flat glass to our operations. It's definitely a learning curve there, and flat glass will kill your back.
Yeah. Oh man. See, me personally, I'm slow, but I'm clean. Yeah. So I can lay like 150, 200 square a day, and that's about it. Like when I tint a car, I know I'm in there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I can take a little break. But when you're flat glassing, like set up, get the gear, get all the tarps, whatever, and then you start laying film, assuming that you pre-cut before you even get there. Like I got like 6 hours in me, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I just try to make it worth it.
You don't use a film handler?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Oh my god, I use film handler for auto. Like it's
no way. What?
Yes, I do.
Oh my
I
god.
do, because then it's like if I'm gonna do a full windshield, because I've had it where like I torpedo film, where like I'm unrolling a whole roll, and then like it slips or torpedoes, and like destroyed.
Torpedo. I've never heard of that term.
Oh, it's
I've
like
heard it when
tube?
I've heard that being described as a telescoping. When the film
telescopes too. Torpedo. I don't know. I heard it. Someone say torpedo, and
nice.
I don't know. It shoots out. I don't know. Maybe that's what stuck with me.
You know, that was like one of the when I used to try to drop roll. So the process of drop rolling is whenever you roll up your film, you peel the liner, and then you pinch it, you drop the roll, and when the roll drops, the liner's on the opposite side of the adhesive, and the adhesive you just stick it to the glass, right?
Right.
So back then, I used to get these like maybe 9 foot tall windows, and I would try to drop roll it, and it would always telescope at the bottom. Always. It would screw it up, and I'd get so frustrated. And so when I started working with Johnny, it happened to me one time. And Johnny knows his stuff when it comes to flat glass. And so I'm like, what am I doing wrong? He's like, when you roll up the film, you telescope it yourself, you wet it, and then you put it back in. That keeps it from shooting out when you're reverse rolling. Yeah.
I telescope, and I just twist the hell out of it, and then to make it super tight.
Really?
I just push it back in. So it's like tight. But I remember this is how bad this one the first shop I ever worked at, he was doing mainly automotive, right? So if you're into the world of flat glass and automotive, they're two different films, absorption rates and different things of that nature. You can't put automotive film on certain flat glass films because the absorption rate is too high and it'll pop the glass. Anyways, but I mean, some people don't know is that automotive film is pressure sensitive adhesive, and flat glass is clear dry.
Yeah, I've heard a few terms. You know, I've heard water activated adhesive. I've heard of a dry adhesive, but
you just can't do a drop roll with automotive.
Oh no!
I've seen people like put like broomsticks or like a PVC so it can weight it because the liner comes off differently. And I was brand new. Before I was even doing videos, and I suggested just do the drop roll. This guy was using automotive film. Tried to do a drop roll on like this huge like storefront window and just destroyed like this big piece of film. I'm like, oh my god. And then he didn't charge me for the film. Thank God. So I'm like, oh.
Dude, my first experience doing flat glass was a long time ago, man. But again, I came from automotive, so I'm thinking automotive concept. I'm going to take this to flat, and I mean these are like 9 foot tall windows, probably maybe close to. A lot of these are 58 inches, so they're pretty wide.
Right.
And I started approaching it like automotive. I laid the entire film on there, and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna lay the film, cut it, pull it back. And then peel it and then throw it back on. It was a disaster.
Definitely.
And it discouraged me from wanting to do flat. That's when I started doing more research on YouTube. And at the time there's very, very little content.
Very little for flat right now.
Yeah, there's very little content for flat. So
and believe it or not, there's videos from like Johnson & Johnson and some other manufacturers that did some pretty awesome high quality content for it, but it just never got traction. Like there's like no one knows where the hell to find them. Like good stuff. I mean, opportunities for us in the future, right? You know?
That's it, man. As a content creator, it's just like, okay, what needs content?
So you mentioned that you started in a flea market.
Yeah.
Were you ever mobile?
I did mobile for about close to about 2 to 3 months.
2 or 3 months.
I have a lot of respect for mobile people because I'm
fully mobile.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, respect to you guys because you guys are super adaptable, which, you know, whenever I was set up, it was fine. But I just got tired of dealing with the unknown.
It's a lot of unknown.
Yeah, it's a lot of unknown.
Hot garages during the summertime, no space. You can barely open the door.
You know, the most frustrating thing sometimes to me was when you would check with the customer, can you put your car in the garage and open the doors? They're like, yeah. But they're thinking like, Yeah, we could make it fit. I'm like, I don't
They
need
just
we
wanna
could
put
make
the
it
no.
fit. I need can I open the doors, walk around so I could better serve you type of
Right.
space. And so that was always frustrating to deal with. But
So shop was it.
yeah,
Just so much easier.
Yeah, for me it was.
I'm currently transitioning from mobile. I've been to mobile for probably the better part of 2 years now, and then but I have to load everything. We both have the same van, right? So I have to load everything into the Transit Connect. I mean, I have 20 boxes of film, all my microfiber towels, all my lights. I mean, it takes another 30 minutes to unload and load, so it takes a lot longer. When do you, for people that might be in the same path, in regards to maybe starting off small and trying to scale their business, when do you think is a good time to move from mobile into a brick and mortar? Because you're talking, when you go mobile, you're talking gas, maybe a little bit, maybe a car note. But when you get into a brick and mobile, a brick and mortar, excuse me. I mean, you're talking leases, you're talking insurance, you're talking internet, phone, security. The overhead is just so grand. When do you justify it?
So for me I found the right location. Originally, this location was $500 a month, and it was a 1,300 square foot space. And so I thought $500 a month. This is at the time when I was charging maybe $100 a car. So I'm like, okay, 5 cars, and it'll pay for at least the rent. For me, it was when I started to build a little bit more clientele, and I started with giving them the option. Could you bring it in the shop, or if I go mobile to you? And at the time, whenever I started doing mobile, I was like, well, I'm going to, if you bring it in the shop, I'd actually save you some money because you're bringing it in-house. And so, eventually that started to become a more often occurrence. People started bringing them here, and then it just got so comfortable for me to work in the shop that I just stopped going mobile. And that's pretty much, that's how it was with me. But I mean, if for anybody who's mobile right now that wants to take that chance and go brick and mortar, it depends really on I would say it depends on your finances. So if you're set up to sustain a brick and mortar and potentially not have clients, then, find something that's going to be low overhead. But if you've already got a reputable name, take that chance in yourself and just go do it.
Just do it.
Do it. But you could always still be mobile if you want to. You're going to have a choice to be mobile or to be in-house. But you're going to find ultimately, when you're inside a shop and all you have to do is lock your keys and take it.
I feel like it's so much more. You got peel boards, you got your spray tanks, you can refill right here, you got the plotter here. They're just. I feel like the workflow is just so much more. It takes me much longer to do it on the road than I would in a shop setting for sure.
It does. I think being in the shop, you can obviously set things up to be more efficient. So if you're doing, let's say for mobile, I was only to do three cars a day because I got to drive from one place to the next and reset and, well, here in the shop, you can probably get 6 because it's much more efficient. Your cars comes in, everything's already in place. And then also setting up stuff in the shop, you want to set it up to where you're walking the least amount of times from one space to the next.
Efficiency.
So, efficiency. It's all about efficiency. So having peel boards next to the vehicle so that they become holding glass pieces for your patterns and stuff like that. We have these little carts, and I call them the efficiency carts. And those carts, you saw them whenever they fold out. They're like an accordion.
Those ones.
Yeah, these right there. Yeah, I have these right here, and I fell in love with these because of the efficiency. You can fold them up and tuck them away, and
they're out of the way.
They
don't take a lot of space.
And when you need them, you can unfold them, and then you've got 3-story platform. I mean, a 3-level platform.
Nice. I like it. No, I've never actually seen these carts. None of you guys can see them because the cameras are on them. But they're basically these folding, rolling carts that do accordion style fold up.
Yeah, I picked them up on Amazon, and I always try to push here for efficiency.
Yeah,
you push more for efficiency if you're able to do more vehicles in a day because you can save a few minutes here and there and stuff like that. I mean, you can put in another 2 vehicles on your schedule, and
it's true. People are like, oh, you're only saving 3-4 minutes, but yeah, you're saving 3-4 minutes per car. Compound that per day, per week, per year. I mean, you're squeezing in an extra 100 cars a year, maybe. Yeah, I'd say maybe 100 cars a year could be it, and then 100 times whatever you charge per car, you're making an extra 20 grand, 30 grand.
Exactly.
2-3 minutes could save you and make you a lot.
Yeah, just 15 minutes can save you on your insurance. You know what I'm talking about.
Geico is not a sponsor, but if he wants to be a sponsor, it'd be cool. Just saying.
Hit him up.
Right?
Patrick Latman, the Latman Experience. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I literally I'm like, this is the idea, and this is what I want to do. And I don't have a name for this. Like, I legit invested in all this, and I'm like, we'll make a few. Let's see if there's any traction, if people like it. And I might I don't know. I said, maybe I won't like it. Maybe I'll do it and be like, oh God, I can't, because some people I can't sit and talk to for 30, 40 minutes. I'm like, Jesus, it's like pulling teeth.
Oh man. Yeah. I did a podcast one time with Jason, Tint Wiz 3. I wanted to get into podcasts. This is about in 2018. And I loved hearing the JRE experience, Joe Rogan. And I thought, at the time, I don't think there was anybody doing podcasts in the window tinting industry. So I wanted to kind of take a stab at it. And I did an episode with Jason.
Was it white walls in the background?
It was some kind of off-white.
Like taupe? I think I saw it. So. Did you have a goatee?
Yeah, and I used to be
Bro,
fatter.
I didn't want to say that, but I mean, you were full figured a little bit more.
Full figure. That's a nice way to say it.
You're in shape. You're healthier now, but that's good. Yeah. That's good. I went through the same thing myself. I went from 235, 230, and then down to 185, 190, and just try to stay.
How did you do that?
I starved myself.
Did you really?
I worked out a lot, and then OMAD. 1 meal a day.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I did some research in regards to because I tried fasting for a little bit and trying extreme fasting, and OMAD is just a form of extreme fasting, where if you're going to be fasting plus doing it, you could only drink water and black coffee, nothing else, nope. But I love coffee, and with a little sugar, a little cream, that makes my day. You know what I'm saying? So it's
that's a great way to start the day.
At the end of the day, I'm like, listen, as long as that it's a marathon, really, right? Yeah. As long as you know how many calories you need to burn in a day and how much your intaking is, do you need a drink? I thought you were looking for a drink.
You know what? Why not, right?
As long as you were constantly at a calorie deficit, I figured in the long term, but I feel better. You know what I mean? I love chicken wings. Chicken wings are my nemesis. Man, hot dog and bologna. I love it. But I try to eat chicken and salmon and rice and vegetables. I just feel better. I feel cleaner, and I feel, my head is clearer, and I feel like I can do a lot more things. So just trying to live a better, healthier lifestyle. Whenever,
I don't know how much truth there is to it. I haven't done any research just based on the way that I felt, but I went from 260 down to 170 at my lowest. So that was
90 pounds?
90 pounds.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely life-changing for sure, because when you get used to being that big, you just at least for me, I felt like I was moving slow. I'm like, man, I'm really starting to feel my age, but it wasn't so much that. It's just
motivation.
It's harder to move. Yeah. So then I started to I feel like I started doing jujitsu. For me, that was what carried me through, was doing jujitsu, and the reason why I loved it, this really came from a principle and of do things that get you thinking about your body. So for me, having to go lift weights and thinking about reps and how many sets am I doing, that, I wouldn't last long, because I was doing it I just didn't feel like I was doing something. I knew why I was doing it, but I would lose motivation along the way. And so when I heard about this, do things that get you thinking about your body, I was like, well, what do you mean? It's like rock climbing. You're rock climbing because you want to get to the top, not because you're wanting to get in shape. So if the focus exactly. So jiu-jitsu for me was learning a new art, and the byproduct of learning this art and the journey of trying to master this art was getting in shape.
And then have you kept up with the jiu-jitsu? Jiu-jitsu.
I try to do my best. It's like
are there belts? Are there ranks?
Yeah, there's belts.
What are you?
I'm a white belt.
Okay.
White belt for life.
For life, baby. Okay. I don't do jiu-jitsu. I train in taekwondo. I'm a.
You guys got some mean takedowns.
Blue level 3. I've got brown, then red, then black. So I just want to get to black just so I can annoy the hell out of my
Amazon Prime.
Just 2-day shipping. Just order it.
I told my brother, one of my younger brothers, he's so funny. His name is Eric, and I would tell him, I'm like, it takes 10 years to get a black belt, and he was like, what? Are they dumb? Amazon, 2-day shipping. You get it right there.
He sounds hilarious.
Oh my God, he's so funny sometimes. But yeah, man. I've been a white belt for a reason, because I haven't I'll go and train, but then I get something. I'm like, oh, I want to go running now, or I want to go do some weights.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Right. So I just kind of you just kind of go through. But it does make a huge difference though whenever you start eating cleaner and you are active. Now, the one thing that for sure that I've noticed with me, I don't know if this is the same with you, but when I eat clean for a little bit, and then I spend maybe a day or two eating some of the not so good stuff, mentally I feel like I'm not as sharp. Foggy. Yeah. Not as sharp. And in fact, whenever I'm gonna meet, if I'm gonna have some type of high level meeting, I don't eat as much. And my thinking is, I'm like, the less crap that's in my blood, the more pure that it is, the faster I'm gonna be. Oh, yeah. That's when I perform my best. And that's when I'm the quickest. I'm the most entertaining, the most creative is whenever it's like the system is cleaned out, like flushed out.
Sorry, I was about to sneeze, and like I'm trying to look away from the light, but the lights like make me sneeze. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to touch you.
Oh, you good? You good? Right here. I'm healthy.
See, and this is the one thing too. I have the way I think is that like I branch off into like I'll start one storyline, and then like I'll branch off to one, then that branches off. So like I don't have a structure. The whole point of this is just so we can just sit down and have a conversation, no pressure, relaxed. Yeah. Moving forward, like where do you see yourself in the next 2, 3, 5 years? Let's say 5 years. Let's say 5 years. Make it easy.
You know, I have a few projects that I'm working on right now. I have ambitions with my shop and brand as Texas Tint Masters, and I have ambitions with my other brand, Tintertainment. And so, you know, with Tintertainment, we're doing live events, national competitions. Want to go international? We're having a large audience that's growing in the South American continent. So, you know, we might go international probably sometime within the next 3 years. And,
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, man, this thing is growing rapidly. But again, why? Because it's different.
Right. I mean, absolutely different. I mean, capturing the entertainment side of things. Like, I think a lot of people have always done educational stuff because I think those are the two major factors for like the draw people to content. It's education and entertainment. And I've been telling people for years, like not years, at least 2 years I've known you. A year or two I've known you.
I think so. Yeah. Well, we first met in Orlando last year.
Yeah, but I knew of you.
Oh, okay.
I knew the crazy person that's fucking running around kicking doors.
Did you know me before I started doing that, or?
I knew of you before Orlando. Okay. I did know of you before Orlando, but like that Orlando trip was amazing. And like every year, I'm like, it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. And I've been going to the Tint Offs for 4 years now, 5 years now, and legit every single time, like the camaraderie gets a little bit better. Everyone comes together. Everyone parties together. You know, you got your wild guys, and then you got your real laid back guys. But like they're all there for the same thing. Just have a good time. Everyone works hard, and it's like the 1 week a year that everyone's just like. Everyone understands you. You try to talk shrinking and pulling panels. I do that to my old lady, and she's like, "Please stop. I don't care." But like you tell Marco, like, "Hey, I pulled this panel this way." He's like, "No, I'll do it this way." You know what I mean? It's just you're around your people, and I don't know, man. Okay. Well, I mean, we've been going on for about 30 minutes now. Like I said, I want to make this.
It has not felt that long.
I know, right? That's a good thing.
It has not felt that long. I feel like we just got started.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be doing this more and more. I'm trying to get, more people. We're going to do Marco. Marco's going to be down in Florida next week as well.
Marco's a great trainer. I do have to say that. This is the second time I've had him down here training my guys at the shop. And he's a phenomenal trainer. He's super structured. I mean, this guy takes his job super serious. Like, he's like the Jocko Willink of our industry. I mean, you know, if you're familiar with Jocko Willink?
No.
Really? He's like the speaker of the military guy. He's, what about Gary Vee?
Oh, Gary Vee. Yes. Okay.
You know, like Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Speakers like those David Goggins.
Yeah.
Like those guys. So, you know, I feel like Marco is that version of our industry. Super structured.
Corporate, but still has his head in like the real shop world as well. Like he knows.
Yeah, he takes his job really serious. He does phenomenal with teaching people, and I've been able to witness his style, and I really enjoy watching him do it. You know, like I consider myself being very versatile and proficient in what I do, but having the ability to teach it is a different skill set.
100% agree.
Different skill set.
100% agree.
Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you're good at teaching it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's a good thing too. You bring in other tinters, and it's like you can see how they do it. Maybe some people dry shrink, maybe some people wet shrink. Different ways to installations. Like every time I go to a shop, I don't think there's not a time that like I walk away and like I'm like, oh man, I learned this from this shop and I learned this from that shop, and it just like it sharpens your skills as a person, as someone in the industry, and it's like.
Well, it does, and you know that one of the concepts that I wanted to experiment with is in the Tinter Battles competitions. I didn't want to limit the styles and methods that people do their installs. It's like I tell the hey, we are judging the end result, not the process. So whether you want to pull panels, 2-stage, dry shrink, whatever you want to do it. Because to me, I see that there's no point in taking a guy who's used to bottom loading and forcing them to 2-stage on a window when that's not his style, or that's not that person's style. So to the competitor, this is a way that you can come in there and have full freedom to do it however you want to do it. To the audience, the value that I saw to the audience was that you would have all these competitors with a different style of doing the same job. So the audience is almost like they're at a buffet of knowledge, because this installer is doing bottom loading, this person is doing 2-staging, this person is using a heat gun, this person is using a torch, and it's just all this learning. And so in Tinter Battles 2021, there was a lot of and honestly, when people see that, that's what sparks the curiosity. When the competition is over, you go up to them and it's like, I saw that you were doing it that way, how come? I saw a lot of that in Tinter Battles. And so
what was the point of this, or what was it? How did you do that?
Yeah, like why
do you pocket shrink here?
Right.
Like,
yeah, different styles, man. Like, and I wanted to push the envelope there in terms of the the freedom that these installers have. There's no one way that's the best way. Everybody's going to be different.
Right, exactly.
So it's about finding the path that works for you best.
And I completely agree with that, because it's like in the industry, it's always been there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and in your way might be great and might work great for you, but it might not work for me, and then I got to find my way. That's why I'm always into trying to figure out as many techniques as I can. Then I want to try which one is the most effective and efficient for me, you know, and then but still be able to teach other people how to do other techniques. So it's not me teaching my style, it's me teaching other people so they can cultivate their own style. And
I think with every tinter, every tinter or every person that wants to pick up this industry, I feel like there's always 2 stages to them. And the first one is when they're trying to learn it. But once they get to the level where they become self-teachable, that's when, to me, you've made it. Even though you might not be like as the best that you could be, your installs might not be as clean, but once you get to the point where you can teach yourself, that's whenever I feel like, okay, you're independent.
Like looking at this car, like how would I shrink this?
Right.
Roll the window down beforehand. Does it shift? How does it look?
Yeah. And to me,
trying to analyze it all.
The key to getting to that point is just to learn the physics of the film. Learn how the film behaves, how it reacts, how it reacts to heat, what to avoid, like handling marks and stuff like that. Once you learn those principles, in my opinion, everything else will fall into place. It's just a matter of, doing a little bit of some research or just a little bit of refinement. But to me, there's 2 phases. There's a beginner phase, and then when you can teach yourself, when you're self-taught, or when you're self-teachable.
Yes.
Then you
look at it, figure it out, try to see what you can do, change it up a little bit. Don't be afraid to go outside your comfort zone and see that might work a little bit better. Right. It might not. Yeah. I mean, it might end up horribly. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like we did with that flame torch.
Oh my gosh, the flame torch was crazy. I don't know who got the video of it. Oh, I do. I had the video of it. Okay, I had the video. I'm gonna put it on the Facebook group, Window Tinting Business Facebook group, the private and the public group. Go ahead and check it out. It'll be there. So I'm gonna be the crazy guy with the big flame.
The funny thing about that is that's how it kind of made a splash. A lot of times when I meet people now, it's like, oh, you're the guy with the crazy flamethrower.
You're the flamer.
I know. It's like, sure. Hey, as long as you remember me for something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right.
So
all right,
something positive.
We're turning almost 40 minutes, so we're gonna cut it out just right now. Final thing before we get off, I know Tinter Battles is a big thing for you, and Tinter Battles 22 is coming up. It's going to be in
Orlando, Florida, March 19th and the 20th.
Okay, let's talk about that. The last couple minutes, talk about that. I want, and then let people know where they can find you, your content, things of that nature. Just 5 minutes of fluff. Give me everything you got. Let people know how they can find you.
So Tinter Battles is the most tintifying event of the industry. It brings tinters and entertainment, uniting the entire industry to create memories and build relationships that will change the trajectories of people's lives. This is Tinter Battles 2022. We have 9 teams competing in this one, and it is we have more characters. I mean, this whole movement created this entire era of what I call tintertainers, bringing people's characters out and just having fun with our industry. And that's what it is. Find the fun in what you do.
Nice.
That's all it is. And so you can find me on TikTok at Texas_Squeegee. Same on Instagram, Texas_Squeegee. YouTube at Texas Tint Masters. Facebook, at Tintertainment and join the Facebook group at Tintertainment Group.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us. Number 2 of the podcast. I don't know where we're going with this. Maybe we'll put a name to this at some point. This is probably the best setup I've had. Number 1 was in a steakhouse, and that was the beautiful thing about this is because like I can literally set this up anywhere. So it's like wherever you want, in your shop, in a restaurant, in a coffee shop, at a bar.
You know what? That's the mindset of a mobile tinter.
Wherever you
adaptable,
right? Just go anywhere, anywhere.
I love the setup, man. You got you got a phenomenal setup here. Like I dig it 100%.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we were able to do
1,000%.
Look, I got goosebumps. Legit. Like I'm super. Like, I'm a nerd, right? Like I'm glad that we were able to sit down, you and me, because I mean you live halfway across the country, and I just happen to be in town, and we're doing work together. And thank you very much for making time for me and allowing me to be here and do my thing here. Let me think if there's anything else.
I mean, thank you for having me, and thank you for putting that content. You know, I see the content creators of this industry being one of the most underappreciated and undervalued assets to our industry. So anybody that puts out content and you're not getting paid for it, you're overachieving, but you're one of the pioneers of this industry. You're the leaders that people are going to be looking at, following in that footsteps.
Absolutely.
So thank you for what you do for our industry too.
Thank you for you. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching this, guys. If you guys like this video, if you like this content, make sure to give a thumbs up on the video. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, do all the positive plus bells things or whatever. Comment below all the positive stuff. Thank you again. We are out, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you again, Carlos.
Squeegee that.